So apparently from this new report on the internet, Apple is going to be killing the charging port by 2021, and that's going to be very interesting. Do I actually think Apple is going to be killing the charging port by 2021? Honestly, if you ask me, I don't know if they'll be killing it in 2021. However, I do believe Apple is going to be killing it sometime in the near future, and I do think that's actually a big possibility because if you look at the past track record of Apple, Apple has been known to do some pretty big and bold moves when it comes to the advancements of technology, whether they're for good or for bad or they're questionable to some people. Apple has been known to do some pretty big moves. So if anybody's going to do this in the technology space, I do believe this would be Apple. You look back at some of their track records, like for instance with their MacBooks, the one thing that they did kill off with their MacBooks was the fact that they removed the CD-ROM drive, and then everybody else pretty much followed suit, and there's not too many options on the market anymore that they actually do have a CD-ROM drive. And then in the recent years, you guys know that Apple did kill the headphone jack, and most phones today don't even have a headphone jack. So you can see from their past records, Apple is known to do some pretty bold moves. So yes, indeed, I do believe if anybody's going to kill the charging port on smartphones, I do believe it would be Apple. Do I necessarily believe it would be 2021 like this prediction predicts on the internet? Honestly, I think that might be a little bit early because you do have to remember right now at the time of this filming, the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max are still running the Lightning cable, and there's still rumors floating around that Apple is going to be looking forward a USB Type-C future for their iPhones. And if they're looking for a USB Type-C on their premium models like the iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Max and iPhone 12 Max Pro, whatever they're going to call them, then I think next year would be the year to do that, especially if that claim is true and 2021 is the removal of the port altogether. It would make sense that Apple needs to get to that as fast as possible. If you look at some of the other products that Apple actually does have to offer, like for instance their iPads, their top of the line iPad, the iPad Pro from 2018 with the no bezels and the very futuristic design, does run off a USB Type-C. And then if you go to their MacBook line, the MacBook Pros do have USB Type-C ports on them for charging and for syncing and things like that. So some of their products already do have USB Type-C. So I can see Apple going to USB Type-C maybe in 2020 and then maybe 2021 removing the jack. But honestly, it just seems a little bit too early to just kill the jack altogether. I know if anyone was going to do it, it would be Apple, and it would make sense that they would kill the jack off because they are known to kill some technologies that have been standard in the technology space for many years. So I do think they will be doing it, but I don't know if they'll be doing it 2021 or 2022 or 2023. Who really knows when they're going to be killing the jack? But it is very interesting that they would be killing the jack. Honestly, I still think 2021 is just a little bit too early because if they're trying to push again for that USB Type-C on some of their premium iPhone models, then I think 2020, the next year would be the year that they put USB Type-C on their high-end models, and then 2021 they keep that going. But now since that rumor is actually coming out, I may have a suspicion that Apple, even though a lot of people thought that USB Type-C might be coming to the iPhones, and a lot of people wanted USB Type-C on the iPhone, we may not even get that next year. We could get actually a year where it's 2020, even though they're going to be doing a whole bunch of different advancements. Like for instance, one of the biggest things a lot of people want removed from the iPhone is that ugly notch at the top for Face ID and things like that. If Apple could find a way to put that into the body, hide that thing under the display and things like that, then a lot of people would be happy. And then it would be just wild to know that they're actually doing that, but then in return still keeping the Lightning port on the 2020 iPhone. So this can go either way. Honestly, if you ask me, do I want them to actually remove the charging port that we're all familiar with and all used to? Honestly, I don't think it's necessary to remove it, but I understand why they would move it. They want to be that one company out there that does a lot of questionable things and a lot of bold moves in the technology space, and especially when it comes to smartphones. They want to be that one brand that just everybody follows and everybody copies and things like that. Now let's actually talk about the practicalities of removing something like a charging port from your phone. Of course, it can go either way. Some people won't care, some people will mind. Of course, probably when Apple first announces that they are going to be killing the whole charging port, a lot of people will be mad, of course, just like we all had people freaking out when they removed the headphone jack and things like that. But For me personally, I don't think there is a reason to actually remove the charging port, because as we speak right now, the best way to charge a phone or charge any device is still going to be through a cable. You guys know fast charging is always improving. There was actually this article that came out where somebody did a lab test and they actually got a phone to charge up to 80% in 1 minute, which is absolutely nutty and absolutely ridiculous. Of course, unfortunately, that technology wasn't given out to the public, and no one today can actually use that technology, that 80% in 1 minute. But you can see fast charging is always improving, and using a cable is always going to be the fastest way. But then again, on the other hand, if you do remove the charging port, of course, it will make the device more future-proof, or it'll make the device more a more nicer device to actually look at. It'll be more futuristic in that case. I guess on another point, you won't actually have to worry about a port being on the bottom of the phone anymore. So in terms of the durability of the actual device, the durability should go up because you won't have to worry about a port. You also won't have to worry about a cable, because cables do snap, they do break, and you do have to bring those around. But then again, if we do go to this wireless future where there's no ports on phones anymore, how are you going to charge this thing? Like for instance, if you're in a car, you really can't charge your iPhone because you don't have a way. Or what if you're at, like, let's say an airport or a coffee shop? How are you going to do that? Because it's going to be hard to charge your phone. I guess what you're going to have to do is you're still going to have to bring some type of equipment around with you if you want to charge your phone. I do know some companies out there do make portable power banks that actually have a wireless charger built in to the power bank, where you set your phone on top of the power bank and it actually charges your phone. So I guess a lot of people are going to have to go to that solution if they wanted to top off in just different places. So unfortunately, you're still going to have to bring some type of equipment around with you if you wanted to charge your phone. Personally, for me, it is going to kind of suck to actually remove the charging port on the phone, just because, well, what are you going to do also if you're a person where your battery runs low and you actually want to use the device? It's going to be kind of hard to actually use your device if your battery dies and you have to wirelessly charge it, because if you have to wirelessly charge your device, how can you actually use it if it's sitting flat on a surface? You'll have to hold it down like that. It won't be practical to really use it while it's charging. I guess they're going to have to figure out some advancements. But I guess if Apple does actually kill the charging port, like rumors and speculations predict in 2021, I guess it would force people to actually improve on that technology. Some people use that technology today, but it's still not it's still not a way that everybody charges their phone. And I assume a lot of people still don't charge their phone through wireless means, and some phones still can't be wirelessly charged, just because the material on the back of the phone doesn't allow for it, and some phones just cannot do that. So we can see why some people haven't adopted that technology yet. A lot of people are on the wire just because they find it more comfortable. Like I said, it is more faster to actually charge through a cable and things like that. So I do believe that this would actually help the advancements of the actual technology if they did that. You guys may not know this, but like 3 or 4 years ago, I do remember somebody was talking about a way where you can actually wirelessly charge your phone, but you didn't actually have to be on like a static surface, or you didn't actually have to be on top of the surface to actually charge it, where it would make contact with the surface. I heard there's going to be some way you can charge it through like Wi-Fi, or charge it through like signals through the air. So basically you can walk around wirelessly and still charge your phone. Is that technology going to come in 2021? No, it's probably not going to come in 2021. But if that rumor was true, and if people are working on some type of technology like that where you can wirelessly charge your device through the air with signals and things like that, I think that technology would be improved, and that technology could honestly be a thing that we can actually get. So honestly, if you ask me, if that technology ever came and it was the reason why Apple actually killed the port on the phone, then I would be extremely happy, and I think that would be the futuristic way to charge your phone. And I don't think anybody would complain at all, and I think everyone would agree that would be freaking badass if companies just did that and things like that. I guess the thing is, when Apple finally kills the charging port in 2021, or the near future, whenever they plan on killing the charging port, I guess all the other companies won't be adapting that technology right away, where they just flat out kill the charging port. So for instance, companies like Samsung and other companies just won't kill it. So you'll still have that port for quite some time, because even though Apple does something right away, all these other companies want to look bold and look big and say, nope, we're not going to do what Apple does. We're going to wait 3 to 4 years before we actually kill off that technology so we can finally adopt it so people will still use our brand and will look like the cool guys here by keeping that technology around and things like that. So overall, what I'm basically saying is this is a very interesting report that is actually floating around the internet, and I think this is interesting, and I do believe this is going to be real. We just don't know when this is going to happen. Everything is just very interesting. Technology is moving at a very fast rate and things like that. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from My Tech News, signing out.